We got some more NFL news. Amari Cooper was traded from the Cleveland Browns to the Buffalo Bills. Blake, what's the impact for redraft home leagues?
Well, this is a pleasant surprise getting Amari Cooper to the Bills. Didn't even think that was a possibility, first of all. So, yeah, I mean, they need a receiver badly. Amari Cooper needed a quarterback change, even more. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and here's a little stat for you. I mean, he led the league in unrealized air yards at just shy of 500. Again, I don't know. I'm sure like the next closest person, is really nowhere any close to him. Deshaun Watson couldn't hit the broadside of a barn door. But
Mm.
yeah, I mean, this is just like awesome for Amari Cooper owners.
Yeah.
I swear he's got the juice left in him still.
Mhm.
Hopefully it doesn't take more than like a week or two for him to get really situated in Buffalo.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable to say, you can treat him like, more of a high end wide receiver too. In this economy, the receivers haven't been
Mhm.
amazing this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's some wide receiver one upside from
Yeah.
him, but
Especially like once he gets acclimated. So like maybe you call him a high end wide
yeah,
receiver too, just to kind of
yeah,
factor in a little bit of slow
yeah.
start once he gets there for a week or two, but probably won't take too long.
Yeah, and I mean, Dan, I've been trying to get him in some dynasty leagues,
Mhm.
like cheap with owners kind of giving up, like every week, basically when he puts up a stinker. And the
Yeah.
reason why was because I wanted him to get Jameis Winston to air it out to him. Well, now he has Josh Allen, so
Right.
I mean, hey, I mean that's the
Yeah.
next best thing. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah. So we don't even have to
I'm
worry about that Browns QB situation anymore.
yeah,
Just get Buffalo, pair up
I'm
with Josh
certainly
Allen.
excited.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, if you have Amari Cooper in your redraft home league, you got to be absolutely thrilled right now. So, but yeah, is there any situation in which you would consider like selling him high? Like, let's say you needed some running back help.
Yeah.
We'll play a little running back name game here. So, this is assuming that you're good at wide receiver and you're thin at running
Yeah.
back for your redraft league. So, would you rather have Amari Cooper or Kyron Williams rest of the
Oh,
season?
easy Kyron. Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta put respect on Kyron for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. How about Amari Cooper or DeAndre Swift? He's been hot for
Wow.
3 weeks. We gotta give him the credit here. I mean, it's been
Wow.
really good lately.
I like.
20
There's no
over
way I could
20
say DeAndre
fantasy
stuff.
points, 3 straight
Okay.
weeks in full PPR leagues.
The answer is Amari Cooper, but if you are like
Desperate.
if you don't have any running back and you
Yeah.
need some wins, like
Yeah.
look, I won't blame you. Like DeAndre Swift
Okay.
has a pretty good schedule going forward. Maybe
Yeah.
you can ride him and like flip him in 4 or 5 weeks when things get really tough for him.
Right, right. Although he isn't on bye this week, so maybe the other owner
Ooh,
like throw you some kind of like bench running back that's like usable
yeah.
this week. I'm trying to
I
think of
would
all of that, but
Yeah, I would hate to do that deal in general. Hopefully, you're not in
yeah,
that situation. That's all I can
yeah,
say.
yeah. Or at least like get a nice plus on top of it,
Yeah.
on top of Swift. Amari Cooper or David Montgomery.
Ooh. Yeah. Wow. David Montgomery has been amazing, especially if you're a year and a half PPR.
Yeah,
I think that's
right.
a really like fair deal.
Yeah, he's the number
Yeah.
10 running back in full PPR leagues though,
Yeah. Again, if
which is still
oh my
fantastic.
god, yeah. So yeah, if you're playing even of course even in full PPR, but even better if you're in half. And
Mhm,
yeah, he just seems like a touchdown or two every week. Yeah. If you need a running back, that's a
mhm.
fair swap.
Yeah, Amari Cooper or Kenneth Walker.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I will say easy K9 on this one because not even in just half PPR because he's a PPR monster all of a sudden,
Yeah,
believe it or not. So yeah, I mean K9 has got to be like, ooh, I don't even know, maybe a top six back going forward. I really think he has that. In fact,
yeah,
he's had some like couple disappointing games, for one reason or another. And what is he? He's been like, basically like a RB1 in those weeks, anyways. So I think there's
yeah,
so much
and
upside for him.
yeah, and Walker has looked fantastic just to
Yeah.
the eye. So yeah, I'd be fine doing that if I needed running back help. Last one, how about Jameer Gibbs or Amari Cooper?
Oh my god, easy Gibbs. Yeah,
Okay.
no doubt about
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
mean, is he kind of like a nice buy low in redraft? He's the number 13 running back in full PPR leagues.
Yeah.
Amazingly, David Montgomery is ahead of him, even in full
Wow.
PPR.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you can get him for a decent discount, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Like
yeah. Cool. And then going on down the line here, how about Dalton Kincaid? Do you see much impact on Kincaid with the Amari Cooper trade?
I really can't think of a reason why. I mean, he didn't really, he wasn't just soaking in targets left and right without Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Had some complete dud games anyways, so
Mhm.
I really don't know why that things would get worse for him. I'm
Yeah.
sure, like
So if you own Kincaid in your home league, are you just kind of rolling with them? Are you maybe exploring a trade after
I
seeing Cooper go to the Bills? Or
yeah, I don't know how people think. If anything, they see you trying to trade,
yeah,
Dalton Kincaid right after Cooper gets there. Like
yeah,
this is how it always works. Oh
yeah,
yeah, oh let me take him off your hands for like a discount. Yeah, Cooper just went
yeah,
there, and really, I don't see why that would change anything.
yeah. I think maybe the only thing I would do is if you have enough room on your bench, if it's a little bit of a deeper bench in your league, maybe you just kind of keep an eye out on the waiver wire and like maybe you add someone just for like a little bit of insurance until you kind of wait to see how like the impact on Kincaid plays out. If it's better, if it's worse. I wouldn't mind having a little insurance just until I see how things play out.
Yeah, I mean, like the tight end, if you have Kincaid, like you got to play him anyways. So there's
Probably,
no
yeah.
chance you're sitting him. Like,
Yeah, the tight end landscape's pretty
yeah,
bad out there. So, and then how about like guys like Khalil Shakir, who's been pretty solid, though I'm not sure like how sustainable it is. And then Keon
yeah,
Coleman doing okay as a rookie.
yeah.
Not a terrible start to his career, but like you're probably don't want to be counting on these guys anyways. But like
Yeah.
as bench players, like do these guys become like droppable because of Cooper, or do they just kind of stay the same? What do you think?
Like Shakir, honestly, he's kind of like Kincaid to me. I mean, really, yeah, he's been good, but he has not been like difference making at all.
Hmm.
I think he's definitely rosterable. So,
Hmm.
it's not like Khalil, Shakir, and Cooper are anything of the same player. So I
Yeah.
don't see why that would affect him. But for Keon
Hmm.
Coleman, that's a different story. It's like, I mean, I think Keon Coleman is directly affected by Amari Cooper going there.
Yeah.
You could make the argument like we did for Garrett Wilson with the Devontae
Mhm.
Adams trade. Oh, hey, well now he's gonna open up stuff for Keon. I don't think it's going to. If anything, you can
Yeah.
say that about maybe Shakir or Kincaid, but for
Okay.
Keon Coleman, yeah, he's made a couple nice plays. He's
Mhm.
been lining up mostly outside,
Yeah, because
and
does it seem like Cooper and Coleman maybe have like
yeah,
kind of more similar
they
like
do.
skill sets or roles that like they kind of like might not
Yeah,
be able to produce and like
here's
at the
another
same
thing
time.
too. Yeah, I mean, Keon Coleman is truly droppable if you're in like a normal league where you can get
Yeah.
another nice stash player instead. There's just gonna be better options than him is my answer because
Yeah, I mean if
the
there's
the
like a
Bills.
nice
I was
go
saying the
ahead.
Bills play so much 12 personnel anyways. Knox is
Yeah.
constantly on the field, so like, what does that leave? It's gonna leave
Yeah.
Shakir and Amari Cooper out there. So like, Keon Coleman's gonna take a direct hit of actually even seeing the field, let alone getting targets. So
And are you
I think he's
confident
droppable.
that here is going to be like ahead of Coleman in the pecking order in terms of snaps, targets going forward?
I mean, I do, and I mean, a lot of times when you're running 12 personnel, people might think, oh, there's like there's two wideouts, but really, there's a lot of time there's just a slot in, in your X. So like,
Mhm.
Shakir again, he can line up everywhere, but
Yeah.
mainly slot, and I think they're, him and Coleman, of course, will be switching in and out, and Mac Hollins and all the boys, but. I think like Coleman is much more affected than
Yeah.
Shakir. I think that's completely reasonable to think.
Yeah, and it's a really good week for waivers. So if there's like one of these like young interesting running backs on waivers, like whether it's like Ray
Yeah,
Davis, Bigsby, Kamani Vidal, like feel free to drop Coleman for like
yeah,
a good guy on waivers. Like don't hesitate. Make sure to get like some of these hot names this week because it's a good week to do that. And how about Josh Allen? I mean, I would assume this would be at least a nice little boost for him. I mean, I don't know how much better Josh Allen can get. I guess that's kind of a scary thought, but I mean, it can't hurt him, right? It can only help. I would
yeah.
think.
I mean, he's been so hot and cold this year that like
Yeah.
if you're a Allen owner, you're feeling really good about this addition. He's got
Oh
a
yeah.
guy he can just sling the ball to.
Yeah.
It feels like
Maybe.
maybe they've been lacking some plays downfield.
Right.
And run the ball a ton. So like, this can open up a new part of their offense and hopefully bring
Mhm.
some consistency to Josh Allen's fantasy production.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So maybe we see a more consistent Josh Allen, more reminiscent of what he's been like the
Yeah.
previous few seasons. So definitely only a good thing for him. Any other dynasty impact you want to talk about? Any actionable things that you're doing in your dynasty leagues as a result of Amari Cooper going to the Bills? We talked a little bit about like buying Cooper in dynasty as a contender, but like that was more so before this trade. So like it's got to be tough to do that now, right?
Yeah, for Amari Cooper. Yeah, it would be pretty hard. I guess I would say, he's more of a hold, even potentially a sell in Dynasty.
Mm,
Maybe opposite to what I might think in redraft with how effective he could be.
yeah,
But again, a veteran. If you're a rebuilder and for some reason you own Cooper,
yeah.
perfect opportunity to get off of him now.
Well, right, for sure. And I could see Amari Cooper being on that like rebuilding team in your dynasty league, and the owner being like, "Oh, I need a first now
Yeah,
because he's on the Bills. He's with Josh Allen. You want to win a championship, you got to send a first." So if the owner insisted on that, and let's say maybe you had Rashee Rice, you've lost him for the season. Let's say you just had that like big hole in your starting lineup, but otherwise you got a stacked dynasty team. You're ready
yeah.
to like win the ship this year. Would you send your, let's say, late projected 25 first for Amari Cooper and let's say like a mid to late projected second? You get the second kick back with Cooper.
Yeah, you don't lose a pick.
Yeah.
You get Amari Cooper again, who could be wide receiver one at any given week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would feel like, yeah, if you really need that deal,
Yeah.
yeah, I like to protect the first, but yeah, if you got to
Mhm.
do that, you keep a pick in the deal. It's a great way to get Amari Cooper.
Yeah. I think that's the only way I would consider sending
Yeah,
a first for Cooper is getting that like
yeah,
second kickback. And even then, of course, it has to be like
yeah.
a late projected first. Um, what if it was like a player? Like, what if like the rebuilding team also had like Ty Chandler and they're like, okay, I don't want to send away any of my picks, but you give me that late first, I'll give you Amari Cooper and Ty Chandler thrown in.
Well, Cam Akers just got signed to the Vikings.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I
So I
mean
guess
now I feel less good about that.
that's
Yeah,
someone like that.
I
I mean,
would
let's
avoid getting a player. That's what I'll say. I mean,
okay.
I've done a couple of these
Try to get the second.
deals,
Push
but
for the
yeah,
second.
yeah,
Yeah.
really
I think that's
push for a
good.
second. If you were
Yeah.
gonna get a player, make sure it's a player like that's young and worth a second, and hopefully more upside in dynasty
Yeah.
value than a Ty Chandler.
And one that you could actually use. Like
Yeah,
maybe you actually need some running back depth,
yeah,
or maybe you own like Bijan and it's like, ooh, it'd be nice to get Algier. I mean, like
yeah.
that might be a little light. Maybe you could get like a third thrown in or something like that, but
Yeah,
something like that.
maybe you get like a Tracy, Ray Davis, Jalen
Yeah.
Wright.
Yeah, because you can tell the rebuilding manager that like, oh,
Yeah,
Tracy's 25 years old, Ray
that's
Davis
right.
is also
Yeah,
25 years old. Play that card.
yeah.
Make
Of course,
them.
it would be harder to get a player in that case. Yeah, that's where things get difficult. But
Yeah,
yeah, if you get something back, maybe they have like a Pop Douglas.
yeah.
A player like that who
Okay,
certainly looks like he could be a solid producer. Yeah, that would
okay.
be a good way. Like
So you might be willing to make an exception for Demario Douglas. Douglas and Cooper. You send that late first.
yeah. I mean, look, if
Okay.
you need, especially if you need two receiver spots, even
Yeah.
better. But yeah,
You
I
need a
mean, a
little depth
player.
too. You need a little depth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think like Demario's very specific, but
Yeah. Right. Right.
you
But
know,
not anybody. But if you have a very specific player in mind that
yeah,
you really like,
kind of
you're
that
trying to buy
value
a player
range.
up, like if you have that opportunity, maybe you
Yeah.
consider that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't just give a first straight out for Amari Cooper.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Absolutely. Yeah. You can do better
Dynasty
than that. Like you got to
101.
negotiate.
Yeah, Dynasty
Yeah.
101. Just send a one for
Yeah.
one for like a 30-year-old receiver.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that should probably. Oh, how about Keon Coleman in Dynasty?
Okay.
I mean, he's not someone we've had like many shares of. We weren't like
Yeah.
too high on him. But if you are a Keon Coleman owner right now, I mean, you kind of just like stuck with him and you got to hope for the best, or what are you doing?
Oh my God. Yeah. That's I really don't know. Because
Hard
who
to
knows
say.
if Amari Cooper's gonna hang around. I already don't like Keon Coleman
Right.
in
So yeah, I'm not
general.
I'm not buying him low. So I think if you have
Yeah.
him, just ride it out, hope for the best is probably about all you can do.
Yeah, unless someone's like really aggressively going after him, which I doubt it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Or though one tricky thing you could do is like if you're doing some kind of like multiplayer trade with like multiple players on like each side, and you can just kind of like throw Keon Coleman into the deal, and it's like, just kind of sneak him in there so that like the
Oh,
focus is on him.
yeah.
That's just like a way where like you might be able to get rid of him if he's like part of like a larger package, and
Yeah.
then like the owner can like tell themselves a story because maybe they want like a different player in that package, but it's like, okay, well, if you want this other player,
You gotta take
you're gonna
Keon.
like you have to take Keon Coleman
Yeah.
and give some credit
Yeah.
for him in the deal.
Yeah, if you're a contender that owns Keon Coleman, then you could
Yeah.
try and do something like that where it's like it's 3 for 2 or like and
Send
you
it to a rebuilder.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh here's Keon Coleman as a throw in, but you got to give me this whatever this productive player back because again you're getting
Exactly.
points for Keon Coleman. That would be the way I'm trying to
Right.
move him.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, especially like yeah, maybe you can sell Keon Coleman to like a rebuilder. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, he might not be scoring a ton of points, right away or even like the rest of the season, but like in the long term, he's still a wide receiver with good draft capital tied to Josh Allen. So you could kind of sell that, and if it's
Yeah.
part of a package deal, the rebuilding owner could kind of tell themselves a story because it's like maybe in the trade they're giving away some veterans and maybe like they're getting like a first back from the contending team, and Coleman's thrown in there as well. And then at that point, that rebuilding manager is kind of incentivized to tell themselves a story about Keon Coleman. So I kind of like doing trades like that to get off of a player that's maybe not the easiest to get off of.
Yeah, that would be easily be the most effective way to get off him.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. But yeah, that's something I really like to do in Dynasty. Hopefully this video was helpful. Like it if you enjoyed it, got any value out of it. Subscribe to the channel, and we will see you on the next one.